see that. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and tonight's guest, you're hidden here in the group. I want to share with you guys a story that was shared with me by my wife. It inspired me so much so that I had to go back and find the story myself and read it and dig in deep. The story is about a man named Richard Montanez. Now, does that name sound familiar to some of you? Maybe not to most of you. It didn't sound familiar to me. Well, Mr. Montanez used to be a janitor at the Frito-Lay's Corporation over in Rancho Cucamonga. When one day, the president of the company sent out a laudable message via video to all the employees, asking them to treat their positions in the company as owners. Now, some employees heard this message, it went in one ear, out the other. Mr. Montanez, it affected him differently. He took it personally. And as fate would have it, one day, the assembly line machines broke down, leaving a whole array of Cheetos out without their famous cheesy dust. So, Mr. Montanez took some home with him. And he created this chili recipe, which he put on these Cheetos, inspired by the Elote Man. Now, I know some of you guys had corn on the cob by the street vendor who puts chili on it. Well, he came up with his own recipe, put it on these Cheetos, shared it with his friends and family, and they loved it. They encouraged him to share it with the company. A little hesitant, his wife encouraged him. He found himself talking to the secretary of the company, who he convinced to put in a call to the president of the company. Somehow or other, he managed to schedule an appointment with this president of the company to pitch his product idea. He had the very first learning lesson that I want to share with you guys today, which was being bold. It took massive boldness from him, a janitor, to want to speak with the president of the company. Well, he got the appointment, but he had 2 weeks to prepare. So what does a person who has no formal education, no business background, and can barely speak English do with 2 weeks' time to prepare? He does what anybody in his situation would do. He went to the library. He checked out a book on business and marketing. And to quote Mr. Montanez, his business plan that he pitched to the president was literally verbatim, word for word, what was in this book. So that's the second learning lesson. Plagiarism pays. No, I'm just kidding. That's not the second. The second learning lesson is come as you are. There's so many things in life that we think we're not ready for, but we really are. We think we need this or that before you can step forward and take bold action. But you really don't. He didn't. So much so that his humility and his hunger for wanting more in his life led him out to buy his very first tie, his first necktie. He paid $3 for it. He didn't even know how to tie the darn thing. He had to have his neighbors help him tie the tie. So the day of the meeting, he could just put it on, pull it up, and he was ready to go. Well, he went, met with the president of the company, and they loved the idea. And they went with it. And Flamin' Hot Cheetos is actually a $1 billion product now. It's actually the most successful product that they have, that the Frito-Lay's Corporation has. He went from being a janitor at this company to being an executive in charge of the Hispanic marketing department for all of Frito-Lay's Corporation. And that's the third learning point that I want to share with you guys, is never underestimate what's around the corner from your actions. His bold action allowed him to have this immense prosperity in his life. I don't think he ever saw it coming. So in closing, just want to reiterate the 3 points. Number one is be bold. Being in front of you here, you guys, today, and like many of you guys have been up here, takes courage. It takes being bold. Number two, come as you are. Even if you don't feel you're ready, chances are when you come here, you'll become ready. And number three is never underestimate what's around the corner. A lot of you guys have no idea the stages that you're going to grace with your speeches and the people you're going to inspire with your words. So don't underestimate that. Mr. Toastmaster.